I love the way anime, especially older anime, would add in astrology to the story. Love getting all the details of the characters. Of course, when I was younger, I didn't really understand astrology, so it didn't really hit as much as it does now. I'm rewatching Sailor Moon right now. I've been thinking, what would Usagi's big three be? So we know she's a Cancer. I should put her behind my head. So we know she's a Cancer. For her moon sign, I will give her Taurus moon. I say this because of her passion and her loyalty to her friends. She don't play about them. She was really just giving a Venus moon. I wanted to give her Libra moon because of how boy crazy she is, but because of her difficulty in conceptualizing somebody else's emotions outside of her own when she's worked up, I had to give it to Taurus. She's also stubborn. Another reason I gave this placement, and I know Taurus is going to be mad about this, but it is what it is. Her relationship to food, the way that food is connected to her emotions, it is what it is. For her rising sign, I'm going to give her Sag. First, I was thinking Pisces, but she gives more fire energy in the way that she asserts herself. She presents herself as confident, and she uses her charm. She honestly doesn't even know how to turn it off with the way everybody keep falling for her. She's a clown, and her mouth is vicious. Presents herself as courageous and locks in when it's time to lock in for real. But a lot of the things she wants changes from day to day, just like a Sag. All right, baby, I know it's been a minute, but we're back with astrology and anime. Sailor Moon edition. Today, it's about the inner Sailor Guardians. Let's go. All right, so of course, we starting out with Sailor Mercury, the Virgo, the main one who handles the planning, all things tech. She has so much mercurial energy to her that I had to give her a Gemini moon. Clever, quick-witted, and adaptable. Now, there is a slight comedic flair to her delivery in regards to her emotions. So I almost thought Sag, but it's not as colorful and doesn't command as much attention. But Geminis can have that same unserious energy. Now for her rising, she definitely gives me Pisces vibes. And I know some of you were thinking, well, if she's a Gemini moon, wouldn't she be a little more chatty? Wouldn't she be more prone to talk to other people and be a little more extroverted? Since we're just talking big threes, I feel like that Virgo and that Pisces energy is what keeps her to herself. And she saves that chatty side for her friends. She's very kind and super empathetic, compassionate, and she comes off shy and kind of clueless. She exudes a very soft energy that really only turns off when she's in the field. Right, next, we have the very clearly Aries Sailor Mars. My girl don't play around. She be tired of the mess and she's gonna let you know as soon as possible. Now for her moon, I feel like it's very simple and I feel like we all clock this, so we can say this together. 1, 2, 3. Scorpio moon. Spiritual, hella psychic, intuition on 1000. The girl has gifts. The girl was banishing spirits and taking care of business without even transforming. My girl would spend hours in a dark room in front of the fire getting premonitions. Peak Scorpio activity. I feel like it adds to her overall energy. The girl is intense and obsessive. The slight difficulty with being vulnerable and letting her friends know how much she really cares about them. Now, when we think of Sailor Mars and the way that she presents herself, what y'all think this giving? Why you mad at me? Cause I'm like giving her Libra rising. Cause you notice when she wasn't with the girls, she's always presenting herself as if she had it together. Strong sense of justice, very heavy cardinal sign energy, definitely a leader. We saw that in earlier episodes. She felt like she should be the leader. Strong sense of commitment and responsibility to her home life, her family and friends. I feel like the energy of Libra rising is the way that she wanted to show up in the world and what she wanted people to gather from her. And if we want to really get into it, look at the material. Do we see the fits? Do we see the fashions? Her Tumblr dream. She dressed like this to go grab ice cream with the girls. Next we have Miss Jupiter, Miss Bop doo doo doo, and ask questions later. This girl don't play. She gets down. You already know she's a Sag sun, down with whatever, whenever, don't care who's around. Big Jupiter energy, strong as hell. Now when we get to her moon sign, oh God help me. Controversial take for a small group of people. I'm giving her Libra moon. I'm not saying that all Libra moons are boy crazy, but I will say we are prone to infatuation. But that girl is boy crazy, for sure. The way her strength is immediately nullified as soon as a cute XY come around. My girl, stand. It's not the only reason I gave her Libra moon. At the end of the day, my girl just wants peace and harmony, silence. She just want to chill in her apartment and cook and be at peace. Is adaptable, will often overlook her needs to help others. Slight people pleaser. I know. She does all of this because she cares. In regards to her rising sign, what does this look like to you? I just feel like, mind you, we have this versus cooking a meal and feeding her friends. I'd hate to boil it down to just this, but some things are just undeniable. Taurus rising. Now we've made it to the girl, Miss Sailor Venus. You already know Miss Thing is a Libra. She's fun, she's cute, she's put together. Though her power has a lot to do with hearts and Venus love me chain, all things beauty and aesthetics, they did a great job with showing her to be an effective leader and to be decisive on the field and deliver swift justice, okay? Ain't no bobblehead here. I think what also aids in this is the moon sign, which I would give her Capricorn moon. Now, we only get a few episodes to really dive into her emotions and really explore her mind. In those episodes, we see that she has a slight disconnect with her emotions and addresses her feelings from a rational standpoint, which I feel like is paired nicely with her diplomatic Libra sun. That energy paired with her abilities makes her the perfect leader of the inner Senshi. Another telltale sign is the clear, heavy imposter syndrome that we get to explore in later seasons. Now, for the rising, it's clear to me that she's a Leo rising. She boldly proclaims multiple times in the series that she just wants to be an idol. She wants to be a star. She wants to be adored for being her. And I know it mainly seemed like Usagi, Sailor Moon, was the one that wanted to be famous, but baby, nobody wanted it as bad as Sailor Venus. Okay, Sailor Venus put her life at risk to be a star multiple times. And like I said before, she was also making noise on her own overseas. She came in a star, had a game built off of her. Matter of fact, the whole series is actually based off of Sailor V. Sailor Moon is a spinoff. Commanded attention. Never needed the help. A true blue, natural born celebrity. And that wraps up the Inner Sailor Guardians. It's the weekend, so you know it's time for another edition of Astrology in Anime. And I'm not playing. Sailor Moon edition. And we're going to wrap it up today with the Outer Senshi. So let's do it. Now today we're starting with Sailor Uranus, who couldn't be anything other than an Aquarius. Actually, through research, I found out her name, Haruka Tenno. Why you sound so country, bro? Haruka means distant, and Tenno means ruler of the sky. Which pretty much sums up Aquarian energy, right? Distant and in the air. Like most Aquarians, she's low-key a genius and ridiculously talented. Ain't nobody seeing her when she skirt off in the Wraith, all right? Hellcats, SRTs. With the way she conducted herself, I couldn't see her as just an Aquarius sun, which is why I decided to give her an Aquarius moon, okay? Because she's an asshole. She really values freedom and independence. She loved playing devil's advocate, okay? Objective point of views. Truly believed in sacrificing a few for the lives of many. Unconventional methods and meaningless flirting. You know, y'all really like to do that. Now, to me, this is what a Capricorn rising looks like. Her natural demeanor is cold, stoic, authoritative, and kind of cocksure. This also puts her rich-ass sun and moon in the second house. Cool composure, pretended like she knew the assignment, really pretended like she knew what to do to get those talismans. People almost DIED'd, but really had like a father-like energy. Though her methods were unconventional and aggressive, overall goal was always to protect the solar system, especially the scouts. All right, next we have the Pisces, Sailor Neptune. The woman that she is, elegant, quiet, artistic, distant, intuitive, cutthroat, also patient and caring, and had a regal element to her. Sailor Moon even described her as the ideal princess. Now for her moon, I want to give her Aries. I felt some serious Aries energy coming from her, like you will get with most Pisces. Her clear passion, loyal, and competitive nature really made me feel like that moon gotta be Aries. That intense energy is able to come off cool and smooth because it's an Aries moon, which is a little more passive than its Aries sun and Aries rising counterparts. Now for the rising, I'm confidently going with Scorpio. This also adds to her cold, distant, and brooding behavior. The secrecy, enhanced intuitive ability. This also puts her sun in the 5th house, which speaks to her creativity and her intellect. She is a violin prodigy. Like Sailor Uranus, she has very serious and sharp features. She's always brooding in the distance and doing that Scorpio stare. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah. So, but yeah, this ain't Phaedra. This is Mother Michiru. Next, we have the incomparable, the beautiful Sailor Pluto. This was the first scout we got with just a little bit of color. You know what I'm saying? They've been trying to wash my girl's color out for a minute now. We're on to you. I definitely have to turn up the saturation and bring the brightness down so y'all can see the tan. Now, of course, Miss Pluto, naturally, is a Scorpio sun. Darker, intense features, private and distant, just like the rest of the Outer Senshi. Very much behind the scenes energy. And though her appearance, her presence was very intense for the girls, the way that she addressed them and cared for them, especially Chibiusa, really broke some of that energy up, which is why I give her a Cancer moon. She definitely had big sister, mother energy with them. Of course, intuitive, calm, wise, deeply caring. A very sweet energy, which was refreshing considering the fact that we know her essence is connected to the underworld and time. Her main move was literally called Dead Scream. I get a lot of Saturnian karmic energy from Sailor Pluto. The dedication to the cause is definitely giving Saturn ruled, but it's not giving Capricorn. I'm gonna say Aquarius rising, which makes the most sense to me. To the girls and the audience, she feels like an alien, like something that's kind of like out of place and just kind of appears like she's an enigma. Kind of feels like a mystery. A loner, kind of stoic, but not as cold. A little more inviting and honestly, just a little bit goofy. A big reason for me giving her Aquarius rising was also because as the guardian of the door to space and time, she was given some very strict rules. She was constantly breaking the rules with reason, but she was breaking them. She even broke the most taboo rule, which was to never stop time. She did that in an attempt to save the girls, costing her her life. Yeah, what's the main objective of an Aquarius? To save the world. Next, we have arguably the strongest, honestly, you couldn't argue it, the strongest member on the team, Sailor Saturn. Love, love, love the other scouts. But baby, I'm a Capricorn at the end of the day. This is my girl. She represents death and rebirth. It's not a coincidence that she's holding this scythe. She's very much like a Grim Reaper. This scythe destroys planets, worlds. She quite literally destroyed the entire silver millennium and restarted Earth's evolutionary cycle. So yes, Capricorn sun, stoic, reserved, private, disciplined, quiet. But through her connection with Sailor Chibi Moon, we start to see her emotional side. She had heavy shifts in her mood and would lash out and didn't even realize that she did that. Also due to the fact that her father was doing experiments on her. I really don't even want to get into how dark her life was before her awakening. But because of this, I would give her Pisces moon. Soft emotional energy, daydreamer. Her daydreams were like an escape from reality, honestly, from what I remember. She was also easily overwhelmed from the energies around her and an overwhelming dark side. I feel like this also makes space for and explains her drastic shifts in her mood. I feel like this placement provides her with enough brain or willpower to stay afloat while being possessed. For her rising, I would give her Cancer. It made the most sense. Very shelled and reserved, but gentle. She had a very kind-hearted and sympathetic energy. And she was gloomy, but it was still sweet. And I feel like that was the overall energy we got from her when she interacted with others, especially Chibi Moon. Especially get that energy after her rebirth when she's being raised by Sailor Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I had to move to the other side because this just eats. I would be remiss not to acknowledge Sailor Chibi Moon, the literal princess of the Neo Silver Millennium. And she's definitely inner Senshi and should have been in the video before this, but I forgot. Though she's a Cancer, considering the fact that she shares a birthday with her mother, Sailor Moon, which is definitely why they interact the way that they do in Sailor Moon's younger years. Though they share the same sign, we definitely see the other side of Cancer energy through Chibiusa. We can get that sweet and slightly nurturing energy at times from her. We mainly get the pincers or the vicious verbiage and cutthroat energy from Chibi Moon. I would give her a Leo moon considering her extroverted and magnetic energy, very hot-headed. Her ego is very much tied to her emotions. Her secret admiration for Sailor Moon honestly speaks to this. She needs the spotlight in her connections and gets super jealous when she doesn't get it. Controlling as well. For the rising, I would give her Aries rising, considering the fact that she's essentially fearful of nothing. She's never shown herself to be. Super independent, hot-headed, hard-headed, eager to get in the field, needs to be heard, bold, resilient. She really couldn't be anything else. She wants to fight. Blocking this because I don't want to get this video taken down, but she's literally wafting a pew-pew in her first few scenes on this show. Holding one right here as well. I want you to know she always had that thing on her. That's an Aries rising. But her heart was always in the right place. Look at that face, so sweet when she's not being a brat or a nuisance. All right, for Tuxedo Mask, I'm not gonna spend too much time on him because he's a man, all right? But he is a Leo. His disconnect and slow understanding of his actual emotions give me Capricorn Moon. It speaks to his complexity and the overall heaviness of his life. Armaru had a hard life, okay? He had to raise himself since he was in what, elementary? Foster kid, lost his parents to a tragic accident. Honestly, he really had some bad luck in that show. For his rising, I would give him Virgo rising, considering the fact that he always separated himself to help others. And there was always an attack on his health, which Virgo risings are prone to from all the worrying, which is really all he did. And I know it's part of the reason why he put some separation between himself and everybody so he wouldn't have to. That was his attempt to control the situation. But it was out of his hands. There's nothing he could really do. He can really control it. You know why? Because he was in love. That was a shot to all the Virgo risings. And All right, well, that wraps up the Sailor Moon edition. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments and tell me what to watch next. Don't tell me what to do, though.